Let's go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone to our Maximize and Connect session, where you're going to learn more about our newest omni-channel customer experience solutions, which happen to be in-app, web, and video calling and SMS. My name is Charles Williams, and I'm the principal go-to-market specialist focused on omni-channel solutions. In my prior role, I was also responsible for omni-channel experience and solutions, so I've been where you are today. And I'm going to be joined by my colleague, Amir. Amir, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Charles. Hello, everyone. Good to be here, and thank you for joining. Um, by way of introduction, I lead our product teams that focus on enabling you guys, our businesses, to create real-time voice experiences with your customers, really how you engage with your customers, and all of the peripheral capabilities around that, some of which we're going to be talking about today here. So very excited to be here.
All right, let's go ahead. Go to the next slide. All right, so our agenda. So we're going to go through our omni-channel solutions, provide you an overview of our omni-channel solution set. And Omer will give you an in-depth or overview of our new in-app web and video calling solution, as well as our SMS solution. Then he'll do a demo, and then we'll have some follow-up items and Q&A. So next slide. And then we go to the next one, please. So if you think about customer service, it makes up a very big part of the omni-channel experience. And so if you talk about what customers are thinking about from their experience with it, they're thinking that after COVID, those experiences haven't been great. However, if you talk about how important it is to them, 91% of boomers view that customer service is very important to them. And Gen Xers, 74% of them view that customer service is important to them. So this is huge for our customers that happen to be out there. Go to the next slide. So if you talk about what are some of those challenges around the omni-channel experience, if you think about customers experience convenient, inconvenient, inconsistent, or non-personalized experience across all those channels. And several of us have experienced this, whether I'm going through an IVR and it's so many menus, or the chat and I'm not able to get to the right person. In addition, businesses are really trying to drive forward with, we'll call it self-service. One, customers prefer self-service and they don't mind using it, but also it allows you to reduce your costs because you're able to enable customers to be able to do self-service on their own. However, the experience was inefficient and ineffective. So if you're going through a chat bot and the chat bot's not able to answer your questions, you immediately want to get contact, you want to talk to a live person, or you want to default to picking up the phone and calling someone. And after those first two, companies are really trying to engage their customers proactively. However, that doesn't scale. So you can't have your call center agents reaching out to customers to random about appointments or being able to schedule maintenance or those other type of occurrences that may happen because the costs are too high. So companies are looking for ways to be able to kind of leverage proactively. Can I use AI to be able to proactively reach out to my customers, whether it's SMS or email or predictive dialing? And then this last piece around this is, if you think about it, you're managing several different vendors across your different channels. So I may have someone, a vendor for IVR and voice. I may have a different vendor for chat, different vendor for email and SMS. And so as you're trying to move forward with that, you have to coordinate all across all these different vendors. Plus you have to manage integration. Plus you have to manage different types of contracts and workflows and schedules, each of those vendors to be able to do that. And it increases your cost as well as your time on being able to innovate and transform the customer experience. So as you think about it, and this is what I thought about being in your shoes, and I went through several of these different challenges myself. Are you and your customers happy with omni-channel experiences? Because if your customers aren't, they're going to go to your competitor because of what they demand from omni-channel experiences today. And the demands are going to continue to increase. Go to the next slide, Amir. Thank you. So several of you are current customers of Amazon Connect, and so we developed our solution from the ground up. And I won't go into all the details because several of you are current customers, but there are some differentiators around this. It's seamless solution. So if you talk about it, being able to make it easy to use, simple self-service UI, so you don't have to be a technologist to be able to use that. You can spin this up yourself from a business owner standpoint to be able to do that. We also have conversational AI chatbots and voice bots so that you can help personalize those experiences with your customers, but also being able to help that drive self-service. And then if you think about our AI, so we launched Amazon Q and it's part of Connect. So think about your agents being able to get recommendations about a particular customer as they're interacting with them on how they should respond to that customer. And then around our analytics, so analytics is having to be native to our application. Think about it, being able to use our contact lens to be able to get the insight from all those agent contacts that they have, whether it's through a chat or a voice channel, being able to get that information to be able to recommendations on how to improve what that agent is doing. In addition, being able to use our workforce management tools and forecasting to be able to do the forecasting and scheduling of your agents. And then thinking about our global redundant telephony, 30 plus providers. The other key piece of this is that you pay for only what you use. That's another key aspect related to our solution and what differentiates us. Next slide. So as we talk about one application, one seamless experience, it's not just around our omni-channel experience piece. And I'll talk more about those, and we're going to focus on kind of those solutions that sit underneath the customer piece, but around our agents. So if you think about a conversational IVR or chat bot that transitions to a chat conversation with the agent, all that information, the context around that transitions to that specific agent, and it routes to that agent for that particular concern or issue that the customer is trying to address, and being able to provide our agents with the information around to be able to write recommendations. And then around the supervisors, and already touched on some of these capabilities around that, getting the real-time conversational analytics and analysis of those different types of conversations, and then being able to do the forecasting. And then that last piece around being able to use a self-service UI, like I talked on the prior slide, and being able to scale up and scale down based upon your business needs. So it's one application, one seamless experience that uses the same configuration, same workflow, same routing, and same analytics across one application. And it's not built, it's built from the ground up, not through acquisitions. Next slide, please. So let's drill down on some of our key capabilities. So we talked about our high quality voice. We have over 30 plus providers globally. So that allows us to be able to have the redundancy that we need and the scalability that you need to be able to serve your customers. And then we'll talk more about our in-app web and calling and video. So think about being able to engage your customers. So they come to your website and they want to have a conversation with you about a credit card or wealth management or some other questions that they may have, being able to transition to a web call or a video call. And we also provide chat and SMS, which we'll talk more about a little bit later, and third-party messaging apps. So being able to engage our customers through either a chatbot or an agent conversation. And also our conversation IVR and chatbots. So conversational as well as generative AI capabilities, so that you can have a personalized self-service experience for your customers. And then our outbound campaigns, as I mentioned earlier, several of our customers want to proactively engage our customers. That may be a follow-up to a conversation that you have with the customer. So you may see in the SMS to allow them to know about an appointment, or that some other packages come in, a credit card. But you also may want to leverage this from a marketing standpoint and doing outbound campaigns. And then voice authentication, so that you think, one, allow customers to be able to be authenticated from a self-service standpoint, but also being able to have fraud detection, then task management. Think about being able to automate the experiences from a self-service standpoint with their customers, or from the agent being able to automate those tasks as a follow-up so that the agent doesn't spend a significant amount of time on being able to go through and doing all these manual tasks, but being able to automate those to make your agents more effective and efficient in what they're doing on delivering those experiences to your customers. Okay. Next slide, please. So how does this all fit together? If you think about it, you have your customers coming in, and think about a customer that has an experience with a particular bank. We'll call it Anytime Bank, and they're coming in and they're on your website and they're trying to get additional information, and they're seeing information about a credit card. So immediately they may go to a chat and engage the chat. And so the chat bot's answering some of their questions. And so now they reach to a point where the chat says, do you want to talk to a live person? Because now you're at a point where you want to actually purchase that credit card. Or you may do it from a self-service standpoint, but you say, I want to engage with a live person. So now it transitions you to a specialist who understands credit cards, but also understands who you are. And now that agent has your information, and now you're having a chat conversation. But also you may want to transition to have a more in-depth conversation. So that could be through web calling, or that could be through a video call with that customer and being able to have that conversation. So you're going through that. The agent's able to address your needs at that point in time, and they're going to send you that information. So now there's a task. So we go back to our task management and automation around that. Mine's the rep at the end to send that SMS, or they could automate that so that they send that follow-up communication to that customer around, hey, you're going to receive your credit card. Thank you for your service. And also you may be able to update them or provide them additional products and services. Next slide, please. So think about some of the key benefits of a seamless one application for your omni-channel experiences that you want to deliver to your customers. So customer satisfaction, which is key, because now you have consistent and connected high quality customer experience across all your channels and within those channels. And you can save customers time with personalized automation. So not only are you leveraging the Gen AI chatbots or IVR and the voice bots, but you're also able to automate the follow-ups from that. So customer being able to purchase a particular item, or being able to get updates on the status of the item once they've completed that purchase. And think about being able to gauge at scale. So being able to make these changes, being able to gauge at scale, whether that's inbound or outbound type of communications and interactions that you have with your customer. And then I think the biggest piece here is around being able to continuously innovate. And I talked about this at the beginning, because you want to be able to make changes. You're going to continue to evolve that experience for your customers, and you want to drive self-service, so you're able to reduce those costs, but you're able to use the same business, same routing, same configuration, same workflow, same analytics to help transform those experiences for your customers, be able to drive self-service, be able to migrate them to lower cost interaction channels, and being able to actually get the outcomes that you're looking for from a business standpoint. Next slide. So let's talk about one of the leading technology companies, Adobe. So, and some of you may have experienced these similar situations. So they have a fragmented multi-channel experience. So think about it. Different vendors based on the channel, SMS or email and voice and chat. And they had multiple agent systems. So think about all their agents using different types of systems. So think about all the systems that agent might have. And I think there's a stat that says agents might have 5 to 8 different systems that you use to interact with your customers. And then the routing. So you may have challenges on being able to route within the application, but definitely having issues routing across multiple applications. We were able to migrate 3,000 agents globally to Amazon Connect. They were supporting over 30,000 chats daily for sales and support. So if you go out there to the website, they don't do customer service. They actually support sales on their website. And they were able to go from 30K to 2 million chats handled globally. They were able to have a 30-second first response time. In addition, most of their interactions are chat now. Most of their interactions are chat. Only a very small percentage are going through voice channels. So see, these are some of the outcomes that our customers have seen using our omni-channel solutions, and they're going to continue to expand and innovate on how they transform the omni-channel experience with their customers. With that, I'm going to go ahead and transition to my colleague, Amir.
All right, find the mute button. Thank you, Charles. And thanks for that great overview on how we're thinking about really enabling you guys to create these customer experiences, right? That, when all said and done, that's what this is all about. Our mission, especially the team that you're talking to here, is all about how do we enable you guys, the businesses, create those real-time experiences and meet your customer where they're at. Now, before I dive into in-app web video calling and SMS, I do have a request from everybody here. If you can take a minute and go to the Q&A section and type in, what does omni-channel customer experience mean to you? Right? We would love to hear from you guys, your perspective. And I talk to customers all the time, and you'll see, some of sort of the output of that in the way we're designing our solutions, especially as we talk about some of the specific solutions with in-app web and video calling and SMS today, but really across all of those investments that Charles had talked about. When you think about how we create that customer experience, even bleeding into the agent experience, and you'll see that in the demo as we walk through the demo for today. But I'd really love to get your perspective on what does omnichannel customer experience mean to you, and we can kind of go through and by the way, any other questions, of course, are more than welcome as well, and we'll make sure we take some time at the end of this and go through that. So with that, let's dive a little bit into one of the critical pieces that Charles talked about, pace of innovation, right? It's super critical as it pertains to businesses creating those delightful customer experiences. It's super important for us to be able to meet the need for the customer, and it all starts with the customer being able to engage with the business, or even the other way around, in the channel that is important to them, that in the modality that the customers, if they want to pick up a phone and they want to call, they should be able to do that. But we're seeing the customer behavior change, and it always evolves, right? Like we're seeing this in our daily experiences as we start using social media, as we all started using smartphones and so forth. That global movement does not stop, and it's very important for us as Amazon Connect to be able to make sure that we enable you guys, the businesses, with the right tools, so you can then engage with your customers wherever they're at, in whatever modality, whatever experience that they want to. And that ends up becoming a central pillar in your digital transformations, because at the end of the day, whether you're investing in a mobile application, whether you're investing in your web assets, or that end-to-end experience, which, by the way, now is transcending the boundaries across businesses. Charles talked about, outbound engagement, for example, where businesses are proactively melding the experience for marketing with outbound calling, with customer service, and across other parts of the business as well. That is something that the customers are demanding, right? It's part of that transition of changing customer behavior, and we as businesses need to make sure that we come along for the ride and provide our customers with the right experiences. So we do think about that in that holistic manner. And of course, our conversation is focused on the communication piece of this. But as Amazon Connect, we launched in 2017, and we were viewed as a disruptor for the first few years, and we focused on really enabling that first critical customer channel, communication channel, with global voice and telephony, right? So that we enable you with a fully managed telephony service, so you have a number, 1-800, or a direct dial number that is now backed by a real-time dynamically scaling service that allows you to create those agent experiences, a web-based agent experience with voice over IP, and really enable you to scale with the needs of your business. And we saw a lot of that disruption during COVID time as well, where businesses wanted to spin up extremely fast. And with a fully managed cloud-based service at the back end, they were, of course, able to achieve that. Since then, of course, listening to customers, we've been focusing in on rapid innovation. Right. Since we've launched over 450 significant features since 2017. And I'm talking significant capabilities that we added to the platform. You see some examples here, but of course we can't list all of that. And all of that is based on feedback from customers like yourself on what end customers are looking for, the experience those end users are looking for, and making sure that we enable businesses to get to that. And you see some of those examples with our communication channels. The last piece I wanted to talk about when it comes to how we think about innovation in our communications experience, that omni-channel communication experience and customer experience, is not only do we want to make sure that we enable you, the business, to have the right channels in place so you can communicate, engage with the customer the way they want to, whether they want to pick up the phone and call you, or whether that voice experience is on other modalities, such as what we're going to talk about today with in-app calling, right? So it doesn't really matter if a customer wants to talk to you, that is the medium that they choose. But we don't stop there, right? They want to talk to you on the phone, pick up the phone and dial a number. We enable that, right? But now we were hearing from customers that they're demanding much more, in that I do want to talk to the business, but I want to talk on my terms. I want to talk directly from the website, or I want to talk from within the mobile application. And you'll see some of the use cases that we'll talk about here, where that starts to enable that seamless customer experience. That the same is true with chat, right? We very early in our since we launched in 2019, we made web and mobile chat available, and customers have been using that in very innovative ways. But then again, the demand from end customers has been evolving, in that not only do I want to chat over the website and within my mobile application, I want to chat over SMS, and therefore we're going to be talking about SMS today. And that's really part of the DNA of how we think about communication experiences. And I'm very curious to kind of read through some of your thoughts on how you think about omnichannel experience as we go through this. So with that, let's double click a little bit into one of the recent announcements that the enhancements that we've made in our omni-channel experience with in-app web and video calling. Now, this is interesting is because, as I talked about, like, we think about this as just another modality for voice engagement experience. Now, that's a very important point, because by definition, what that means is that this is a native capability fully integrated in anything and everything that we do in Amazon Connect, whether it's our native routing capabilities, whether it's our native analytics, or the innovations that we're rapidly making with Amazon Q in our ML and AI capabilities, with contact lens and conversational analytics that we offer with contact lens, and everything in between, right? Which means now you can enable your customers to pick up the phone and call you, which we always did, or now from within your mobile application or a web or on your website, with just a couple of lines of code, you can actually enable them to just click a button and call over IP directly from your mobile application or website, but then use everything that you've already invested in and set up, and all of those experiences, including IVR and everything else that you've invested in Amazon Connect, is available for you to leverage, right? So it's really just another modality that we enable when a customer wants to talk to you, right? Within the voice engagement experience. And that is something that we're hearing from a lot of customers is very important, because customer behavior is evolving, and this is yet another way in which we enable that evolution. But we don't stop with just being able to talk to customers. We actually added a video calling capability modality, which again is one more modality, right? I want to pick up the phone and dial, I want to click a button and call, or I want to add video to that. Right, so that starts to enable some very interesting capabilities that we'll see in the demo that follows here in just a couple of minutes. This also enables us to make a very interesting innovation and add an interesting capability as part of this, because now that we're enabling in-app and web and video calling, we also have the ability and enable the ability for customers to actually pass context, right? So in a phone call, of course, unless you're doing DTMF and trying to have innovative user experience, which a lot of our customers do, to try and capture who is calling. Now you can actually do a lot more because when a customer initiates either from a mobile application or from a website, the actual in-app call or video call for that matter, you have the ability to actually pass additional context, whether the customer was logged in a secure manner and securely authenticated. What were they doing on the mobile application or the website just before they called, right? Were they trying to change a ticket? Were they trying to book a hotel room or whatever the case may be? That additional context really helps enable the agent experience and enrich that agent experience with that additional context, and therefore you don't need to now re-authenticate the customer or ask them what they were doing or what they're trying to do. All that added context keeps on feeding into the overall machine of our ML/AI investments with Contact Lens and Amazon Q, and of course other agent experiences that we'll see in the demo here as well. Which really at the end of the day result in a more seamless customer experience and quicker resolution to problems, right? So reducing that time to resolution, which of course, as you all know, is critical as we start building those seamless customer experiences and trying to delight our end customers. Another interesting part of this that I wanna call out here is, as I mentioned, you can very quickly get started with adding in-app web and video calling capabilities, but we actually fully integrated this into our managed widget. So now we have which is something that you can use for chat as well, right? So it starts to speak to that omni-channel experience that you can add, because you can actually start with chat using the existing chat widget, and to that chat widget you can very easily now add web and video calling or a fully native experience that you want to build on a mobile application. You have that option as well as you have with our chat widget, right? But at the end of the day, you can kind of create that experience that, again, you'll see in the demo here in just a few minutes, where you can start with a chat and you can seamlessly transition, a customer can seamlessly transition into a call or a video call for that matter, right from where they are. And this really unlocks a lot of very interesting capabilities. But as we're talking to customers, here's a few common use cases that are popping up as especially interesting as we think about this new in-app web and video calling capability. The first one I'd hinted at and I talked about is really enabling that secure and authenticated calling experience, right? For financial services, but honestly, it kind of extends beyond that to other industries as well. Becomes very interesting in web, but especially mobile experiences, right? When you have a native mobile application, you've made this available, or within your website. If a customer is authenticated, I've signed into my mobile application, you know who I am definitively, as well as additional context, right? You also know what I'm doing on the mobile application on the website, and now you're able to now pass that added context to the agent and actually craft your agent experience using other capabilities in Amazon Connect, to really get the agent to exactly the problem that the customer is trying to solve, and also to save time on re-authenticating, right? Again, asking me for who I am, a passcode or some secure, like all of that authentication that you've already done on the end device, you're now able to pass, and we're hearing from customers that saves on average something like 30 seconds per agent, if not more, and that adds up very quickly, as we all know. Another very interesting use case that's popping up with web and video calling is international travel in the travel and hospitality sector. And in fact, our demo kind of plays on that theme, but we have a number of customers who have these international travel and hospitality experiences, whether they're hotel booking, whether it is selling vacations, etc. Like all of these experiences require customers to oftentimes use the mobile experience. But when I'm traveling, my ability to pick up my phone and perhaps call internationally may become hampered, right? I may not have the right signal, I may not have the right international plan. So having a native experience from within the mobile application or the website becomes a very delightful customer experience. But not only that, it actually enables customers to seamlessly engage with their businesses. I mean, how often have we all traveled and our flight got delayed and now I need to talk to my airline, or I need to change a booking. And I mean, at least what I end up doing is going to my preferred mobile application that I've used for booking, find a number, transition back to the dial pad, dial the 1-800 number, and then go back and forth, giving them my itinerary, etc. Like that's typically how that works today. But with in-app web and video calling, that can be extremely seamless, where I go to my reservation, I click a button, and my agent knows exactly the problem that I'm having and very quickly getting to a resolution. Both of these really talk to that enhanced digital first experience, right? Like all of these capabilities, and we'll talk about SMS next as well, really start adding to our customers' digital transformation journey as you're investing more and more in the mobile application, on the web experience, and those seamless experiences across marketing and sales and service, that you are now able to create these engagement experiences directly from wherever the customer is at. So that's also a very critical piece that comes up in that digital transformation journey for a lot of our customers. As I mentioned, it's not just calling. We have video as well. And one of the common use cases that we're seeing bubble up here is video banking, right? Those high value engagement experiences where you want to have that face-to-face experience with your customers, right? Whether it's wealth management, whether it's mortgage specialists or other specialized roles, where I just need to be able to create that higher context, higher trust engagement experience with customers. And so video becomes very interesting in those use cases, but not just those high value use cases in terms of the personal engagement. Another interesting one use case that's kind of bubbling up is this remote troubleshooting use case, right? Especially in the retail industry and manufacturing industry and others as well, where I may just want to turn on my video and show you why my modem is not working, right? And the agent is able to very quickly narrow it down by getting those visual cues in real time, and perhaps then take the right appropriate actions, whether it's scheduling the right person to come on site or maybe just troubleshooting right from there using video. And oftentimes common issues are found that way. So that's bubbling up as a very, very interesting use case. And all of these innovations at the end of the day make it easier for customers to get to resolution, right? It leads to that faster time to resolution, and therefore increased revenue. But not just because you're able to get to what the customers need very quickly, but also be able to drive conversations right from the experiences where you may be upselling or providing other products and services to customers, right? So if I'm browsing on the website or the mobile application to buy something and I have a question, now I can right from that experience get that added help, therefore leading to more conversion as well. So that's another aspect that we're seeing outside of customer service and leading into really sales, where it starts to become very interesting for some of our customers. So just a few examples which we thought might be interesting to share with you guys in some of the key ones, but really not the only ones that are bubbling up, because I think the possibilities go well beyond this. But this has been some of the interesting piece. Here's an example. Korean Air is one of our customers who have this publicly available code where they're really looking to transform their customer experience from within their mobile application by using in-app web and video calling. And the example that I talked about applies here as well. Is if my gate changes, my flight changes, I need to make changes, or something unexpected happened, I can now very easily engage from within my booking within the Korean Air application, and directly call my agent with all of that context on what I've been doing and what problem I might have, as well as where I was exactly on the application and the experience, all passed along to the agent, and really leading to a significantly better customer experience. So really excited working with Korean Air as well as a number of other customers around this. So along the same veins of, we talked about how we're introducing more modalities in voice engagement as our customers want that innovation. And as I mentioned earlier, the same is true when it comes to messaging between end customers and businesses, right? I want to chat, I want to be able to SMS, and therefore, based on that customer need and customer demand, we introduced the ability for you to engage with your customers in two-way SMS, right? Whether you as the business are initiating the SMS or your customer is initiating the SMS, you are now able to have a two-way conversation right from within Amazon Connect. And again, the same core value that this is something that, is fully integrated and natively built into Amazon Connect, and therefore all of your routing, all of your analytics, all of the management tools, and the customer experiences that you build, whether it's IVR or otherwise, using flows on Amazon Connect, are all natively available, as well as all of the innovations that we're introducing with ML and AI are available for you to use in a very seamless way across all channels, really, right? And SMS kind of fits into that that entire experience. And that starts to open up some very interesting use cases for proactive outbound engagement, as well as, again, meeting the customer on the channel of their preference, right? So now you can, from within the experience, whether it's mobile application or a website, or the customer directly calling, you're able to have a two-way omni-channel experience. Like, you might want to just send somebody, instructions to troubleshoot directly on their SMS, even while they're on their phone. So you can have that omni-channel experience, or from right within the mobile application. If a customer prefers, they can just start an SMS conversation, because they might fear that they may run into internet connectivity issues. They might be in a certain area where the reach needs to be higher. And as we all know, SMS has a significant reach still, especially when it comes to those global experiences and those global customers. So with that, actually one example, so Allegiant Air is another critical customer that we've talked to, who've actually now deployed SMS engagement and have seen a significant increase in their customer satisfaction, over 20%, because, again, they made the right channel available to their customers, right? They're meeting the customers where they're at, and if a customer wants to SMS, now they're able to communicate with their business in just that right channel, and that, again, significantly increases their customer satisfaction, which is a very important lever when it comes to that digital transformation, and meeting the customers where they are at. So with that, let's transition into a demo. So a very simple fictitious demo, although, I think a lot of us can relate. I certainly can. I actually took a vacation with my family to Thailand, was it 8 months, a few months ago. And this use case really resonates with me, since we have a few kids as well. But let's meet John here, right? Since my vacation is definitely not as interesting as John's. John is traveling with his family, which, as we all know, is the best thing ever and is super stress-free, especially when you have two kids tagging along. And John used our example company here, any company travel, to actually book his travel end to end, right? He's a top tier member, which results in additional perks for him. And he basically uses this for all of his business's personal bookings. In this specific vacation, since he's traveling with his entire family, which includes two kids, he wanted to have two separate rooms, but ones that are connected, right? And that's something that's super important for larger families. And so he did this on the application, on the mobile application. When he gets to the hotel room, however, things don't always go the way we expect with vacations, and so he ends up getting completely disconnected rooms. And now here's the problem, right? Because his kids needed to be in a connected room. They're young kids, but they're not. He explicitly booked that. Now what? Right? Now he could have pulled out his phone, go find a 1-800 number, come back, dial it, and make sure he has his reservation number, right? And then tell the any travel company that what's going on, and get to a resolution. But that's a pretty cumbersome experience, and there's enough going on. How can we make this experience better with this new in-app web and video calling capabilities, as well as SMS? And so now John basically goes to his mobile application, launches his travel application, and logs in. And so now he's authenticated. He scrolls, and he finds the right reservation, right? In this case, he booked a hotel. And in this hotel, he specifically made added the requirement to have those two adjoining rooms. But of course, that has not happened. So he starts a chat with any travel company and any company travel, and he's greeted by an automated IVR experience. And in this IVR experience, he tries to see if he can get this issue resolved. He types in what he needs. I booked two separate rooms, but they're not connected. So what do we want to do? So I want to try self-service, right? See if I'm able to resolve this myself. And within that, he says, you know what, I want to just talk to somebody, right? And so he just clicks on the button and starts a voice call with the agent. Now, this is where the magic happens, right? Within the mobile, what you saw here just was within the mobile application, not only am I able to do a chat experience, right? That's something that's been available on Amazon Connect, but I can just, with a single click, from within the same experience with all the right context and all the same context, transition from a chat without losing any of the details and start a voice call right within my mobile application. I don't want to use my international plan or dial internationally. I can simply start from within my mobile application a call, and within that call, I actually have the option to actually start video as well, if I choose to. And so, as John kind of makes that call, now the agent getting this call has not only a voice call coming from John from within the mobile application. From an agent's perspective, it's just a call coming in. Doesn't really matter if it's happening over a telephony phone number through carriers or from natively from mobile application, except the agent now gets that additional context, right? The agent now knows that John logged into a mobile application. The agent now knows that John was in a specific booking, right? And not only that, he just typed in saying that, hey, I wanted connected rooms, but I didn't get that. All of that context is now made available to the agent. So if we just transition to the agent experience, you can see that the agent on that incoming call, video is not turned on yet, but I have a call coming in. The same routing, the same analytics, everything was used exactly the same way. And the agent knows that John is calling. The agent knows what confirmation number or booking they were in. And the agent also knows that John is actually authenticated, right? John logged in with the username and password within the mobile application. So all of those pieces are passed. And not only that, the actual self-serve experience for the agent and the workflow experience for the agent is customized based off of the context that's passed, based off of what John was actually doing, right? So if it was a booking error that actually happened, that tile is made available directly for the agent. So again, the experience for the agent is actually fully customized, and you actually also with Amazon Q get what's going on, the response, and based off the response, the agent experience is actually customized in real time. Again, everything that's available in Connect, and so really, if the agent goes to the profile, they actually get all of that additional context on, who is John, what is their contact number, email, etc., how often they've contacted, all of that contact history, basically creating that omnichannel experience for agent, for John in this case. And so now the agent is able to make the appropriate changes. The agent is able to confirm that end up booking 2 separate rooms, even though they wanted connected rooms. And so the agent is able to go to the update booking tab and quickly add, except the agent sees that, hey, part of my process is I need to be able to verify this, right? So now not only am I on the call with John as an agent, but I can actually quickly request John to turn on the video and verify a few things, whether what specific room it may be. And you can imagine this applies to other use cases we talked about earlier as well. And so the agent is able to validate the room using video. The agent can turn on their video as well, all in a seamless experience, as well as give that personal touch to John and quickly update the reservation, and John is on his way. Right. And so the booking changes. John is able to get to his connected rooms and end up with that stress-free vacation that he wanted. It doesn't stop there, though. After the vacation, John's daughter forgets her favorite teddy back at the hotel room. And so now, and she's been kind of sort of pestering John to get the teddy back, but he's busy, right? He's back at work, hasn't had the opportunity to fill out the appropriate forms. Any company hotel can actually proactively reach out to John on SMS. And so here's an example of us sending a one-way SMS. Any company sending us a one-way SMS directly to John saying, hey, we noticed that you've left this behind. Do you want to take action? And so John is quickly able to respond, yes, please. And here's my address. Can you mail it to me? And that very quickly is able to have the two-way conversation without any disruption directly on SMS. But again, for that same reservation with all of that same context that we just looked at from the agent experience side, and able to quickly resolve directly on SMS. And so that's an example of something that actually some of our customers are looking to do today, really resulting in this omni-channel experience focused on in-app web and video calling as well as SMS. But of course, this can extend into the other channels that we'd looked at here as well. So yeah, that is the demo. So with that, I will quickly jump into a few slides and transition back to my colleague here um, for us to wrap this up, and we can move to some interesting questions if you have any. Charles?
Thank you, Amir. So a couple of resources that you have available to you. So there's a technical session tomorrow and that you can go to if you like to. We have a QR code there. We've also provided our omnichannel website, so you can actually go there and learn more about our omnichannel solutions. And then a self-guided workshop, we have a QR code for that, so that and it's focused on the in-app web and video calling solution that we provided today. So let me give you a few, about 30 seconds to be able to take a picture of that if you have interest. And that's where you can go to those websites and be able to sign up. And then at the end, we're going to ask for a survey. And what we really want to understand is how we can continue to add value to you all through these webinars that we're providing around our different solution sets, whether it's omnichannel or agent or what we're doing on the analytics side, inside side of that. So let us know about that. I'll give you another 30 seconds to be able to go through these. But as you think about omnichannel, and the thing that I always talk to people about is really along the lines of start where your biggest point of pain is for your customers and for your organizations, because it will be different based on each company. It will be different on where you need to start. But I always say start where your customers are having the biggest point of pain, because that's where you'll probably get the biggest bang for your buck and be able to generate the fastest value for your customers and for your organization. Let's go to the next slide. So as I mentioned, please provide feedback. That's a survey there. Tell us how we can continue to improve these sessions so that we're serving your needs. With that, we can go to the Q&A, and I think there are some questions in the Q&A, so we can start with that. We have about 12 minutes left, so let's see. Going in there. I think the first question I saw was, it says, as Charlie mentioned about live person for chat deflection, need more clarity on how it will be integrated and served by a Connect chat solution. So I think when I talk about live person, that's a live chat, but the way we're doing it within Amazon Connect is, we mentioned the conversational chat bots that we have, but we've also talked about Gen AI, how we're incorporating that. And there's 4 Gen AI solutions that we're really rolling out to be able to help with self-service and also augment what we're doing around the conversational piece. So one is a descriptive bot builder. So you're able to use a prompt from a developer standpoint to start saying what type of bot that you want, and we can start to help develop that. The other piece of that is we have sample utterances. So the big piece around training a chat bot is being able to map utterances to intent, so you'll spend significant time. So we're able to jumpstart that, leveraging our large language models that we've built off of using Bedrock to access those. So those are 2. Then we also have a FAQ. So the other piece around being able to augment what the chatbot's able to do is you have FAQs within your own organization around standard operating procedures. We're able to incorporate that so that you can use that piece. And then the last piece around our generative AI piece that we're leveraging around slot resolution. So think around slot resolution is, if you ask a non-standard question to a chatbot and the chatbot can't answer that, it'll just time out or try to send you to a person. So for example, we go back to the travel scenario where we're saying, oh, by the way, how many people do you have on your trip? And you say 4, great. But if you say, I have my wife, I have my son, I have my daughter, and I have my mother with me. Well, typically a chatbot may not be able to understand that, but leveraging slot resolution, it will come back and be able to say 4. So those are some of the things that we're able to do. And then being able to leverage that. So we talked about a seamless application, one experience using the same tools, configuration, workflow, routing, automation, and data. So now that you've done that, you can do self-service. If you need to transition that to a live person chat, meaning a live chat session, you're able to take that data and some of the things that Amir share, you're able to, that data transitions to the actual agent so they have context around that. Let's see, are there other questions? I saw a couple other.
Yeah, there's a few I can jump on as well that I just came across. So there's two related questions. One was, how do we create this omni-channel experience of starting with chat and transitioning into either voice or video? So on that one specifically, there's two modalities, right? Two ways that we enable you to create those experiences. One is a fully managed chat widget. And so that communication widget is available for web, and the same widget supports both chat as well as voice and video. And so it becomes very easy for you to add voice and video to your website. On the mobile application side, what we support is a native SDK. There's two different SDKs for chat related ones, but we package them in two different SDKs to keep the size limited for you. So if you want to use chat, you can use the native SDK for chat, and the same is true for voice and video. But you can use those to build that native experience, and at the end of the day, it ties back to the same contact IDs that we create and connect. So you're able to create that omni-channel experience that you saw in the demo there through either the SDK or both the widget. So that was one question there. There was a related question on, can videos be recorded? And so on that one, the voice call is recorded with Amazon Connect voice recording. And so the same capability records a call. Doesn't matter if it's coming from PSTN or a telephony network or this new in-app calling, whether or not video is enabled or not, doesn't matter. That call is recorded. On the video side, if you want to record video, we do have the ability to record agent screen, right? There's a capability that we launched called agent screen recording that essentially records everything on the agent screen with full control. You can decide to start and pause and resume recording either based off an API or an agent experience. And so that is the capability that you can use to actually record a video as well if you so choose. There was another question, I think, Charles, as you were talking about the AI model for IVR and multilingual languages, right? So a specific question around, can we expand on the multilingual AI? How does AI learn the language? So to answer that, we essentially leverage Amazon's AWS Lex service, right? Part of our core DNA is we want to leverage the core building blocks that we continually invest in Amazon, in AWS and Amazon. And Lex is the service that we use for language recognition. And so really at the end of the day, these models are continually invested in. I think last year, if memory serves, we made available like 6 new languages. So any language that's supported in Lex is supported in Amazon Connect is the easiest way to look at it. So I think a related question was around French that I saw on, hey, is French supported? I believe the answer is yes, but I would suggest looking at the Lex language support, and there's a link in the Connect documentation as well. But at the end of the day, any new language that we launch in Lex, we support in Connect as well. And so any improvements that happen on the language automatically get absorbed in Connect as well. Another question that I see here, with Amazon Connect SMS, do you have the ability for agents to initiate the conversation? In the demo, I think we were showing that the customer initiated the conversation and the agent responded. That is true. Both are supported. You can have, in fact, I think in the demo, it was actually business initiated, the SMS, but at the end of the day, we do have the ability for a business to initiate SMS as well as the end customer. So it's a two-way conversation that we support.
Any other questions that you saw in the Q&A? All right. Are there any further questions that anyone has?
There's a few other, Charles, that I see that we can probably touch if time permits. I think we have a few minutes left, and we can follow up with
Yeah.
folks off as well. I think one was around seamlessly moving between channels back and forth. In the demo we just showed, moving from chat to calling. So the question is, can one seamlessly move between channels back and forth? To service the full needs for the customers. For example, a client can use a digital channel which might get stuck and they want to speak to the agent. And so to answer the question, yes, you can build that experience. And you do this because at the end of the day, everything you're able to tie within Connect to your identity for the customer, right? Whether you're using customer profiles or using your own systems within Connect, at the end of, and you saw in the demo as well, right? John's profile was linked to the call. At the end of the day, these are separate contacts, but these contacts can be linked because all of them are about John, right? And so you can use that mechanism to actually create that experience using flows. And so now, if, for example, if I would extend the demo and say, go back to chat because I want to follow up a conversation after hanging up, you can do that because the chat history is not gone. The session is still ongoing. Or you can decide to terminate. Like, you have full control over that. But you can pull back context into the chat as well to create that seamless experience.
Any others?
There was I guess another related question I see, can we choose the SMS provider? The answer is no, because at the end of the day, Connect leverages Amazon Pinpoint, again, using the existing building blocks that we have in Amazon. So we use Amazon Pinpoint to send the SMS as a SMS transport layer, but we do not have the ability for you to pick a specific SMS provider.
And there was another question as a follow-up. The agent workspace does not have the ability to send an SMS as agent. I think you answered that one already. We do.
Yeah, so I mean, on the agent workspace, we're continually investing in agent workspace. I actually don't know off the top of my head whether sending SMSs, you can in fact send SMS, I believe, through agent workspace as well. But regardless, at the end of the day, there's continuous improvement happening in agent workspace, and we continue to add to it. So that's that one there.
Yeah, 1 minute left. Go ahead, Amir.
Oh, I was gonna. There's a follow-up comment on the SMS provider with additional context, which is helpful from a cost perspective. That if you're using Pinpoint in certain use cases, they're thinking it may be more cost efficient to have a specific provider. I mean, depending on the market, that may be true. However, one interesting sort of insight on Connect is the kind of use cases that we enable aren't often volume intensive, right? So unlike digital marketing, where you're sending, huge volumes of outbound messages because you're very early in the customer acquisition funnel, what we see is with with Connect and customer support use cases, the volume, the back and forth, actual number of messages often become a little bit lower. So that mitigates that to some degree. But I also know that Pinpoint is actively and continually working to drive down costs. And so, with that, we'll definitely get to whatever specific market you're thinking of as well.
Great. Well, we are at time. Thank you, everyone, for attending the session. Amir, thank you for joining me on this conversation. And please fill out the survey if you haven't had the opportunity to, because what we want to make sure is that we're addressing your needs when we have these seminars. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.